But before starting, like always, क्या करना होता है ऑडियंस को?
इस वीडियो को लाइक करना, अपने दोस्तों में शेयर करना, इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना। हमने मेंबरशिप्स लॉन्च करी हैं, उसको जाके आप चेकआउट करिए। और हमारा जो फ्री टेलीग्राम ग्रुप चैट है उसको हम लोग कमेंट से पिन कर देंगे, वहां जाके दोस्त बनाइए और उनसे बातें करिए।
तो भाई, without any further ado, sit back, enjoy this amazing podcast. Now, actually coming to perhaps the point that I am very excited about. So there are two big names right now playing for India, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, right? And अभी दोनों ने ही recently T20 format से retirement लिया है after winning the World Cup for the country. And आजकल I don't know how much aware are you exactly about this phenomena, but because we're in the content space, there is a constant ongoing fight between Rohit Sharma fans and Virat Kohli fans, and they try to belittle each other's idols. And one thing about Virat Kohli is that he is considered as Mr. T20 to a certain extent, T20 eyes rather, where he has scored so many runs, has performed in so many T20 World Cups, is a chase master. And Rohit Sharma has had a resurgence in recent years where his intent has become the talk point for all the cricket fans, where he creates a lot of impact just by the sheer game style that he has adopted in his late 30s. एंड एक ये जो लड़ाई है ना, आजकल ये लड़ाई इस नए नैरेटिव पे आ गई है कि विराट कोहली स्लो खेलते हैं T20 फॉर्मेट, एंड सो आप कितने भी रन मार लो, बट अगर आपका इम्पैक्ट नहीं हो रहा तो कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. रोहित शर्मा शायद जल्दी आउट हो जाएंगे लेकिन इम्पैक्ट ज़्यादा डालते हैं टीम में. अब अमंग्स दीज टू प्लेयर्स, डू यू हैव एनी इनसाइट्स टू जज हु क्रिएट्स मोर इम्पैक्ट?
Okay, I think from the numbers that I have seen, so when it matters the most, that means very high pressure situations or a lot at stake, Virat definitely tends to perform better compared to most players because he loves those challenges as well, right? So that we have seen it in the recent World Cup as well, right? So he still did it, right? So even when the wickets were falling around him, right? So he's still there, right? So he definitely loves challenges and high stake situations, right? On the other side, Rohit, I mean, his tendency is to, I mean, naturally as an opener, his idea is to give the team a good start, right? So regardless of the situation, regardless of the target to chase or the surface, does not matter to him. He tries to give the team a good start. So, I mean, he always tries to play in the top gear, right? So that sometimes leads to wicket, sometimes doesn't work in all cases. Could be one of the cases for the recent test match series as well, right? So trying to go aggressively, right? Even though there's no thing in the wicket, right? So yeah, I mean, in terms of impact, Virat actually has a higher impact in the latest ones, but Rohit also has done well, right? So I think 2019 World Cup, Rohit had 5 centuries if I'm not wrong. So just in the World Cup itself, 700 plus runs, right? So but in the recent times, definitely Virat has better impacts, at least in the T20 internationals.
अच्छा, एज अ डेटा एनालिस्ट योरसेल्फ, आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू, जो फाइनल की इनिंग्स थी T20 वर्ल्ड कप 2024 फाइनल, जब विराट कोहली प्लेड दैट नॉक, डू यू थिंक उनका इम्पैक्ट पॉजिटिव में जाएगा या जीरो पे जाएगा या नेगेटिव में जाएगा, स्पेशली when the score was 50 of 48 balls?
So I mean, definitely positive, क्योंकि when Virat came into the crease, so India's chances were dim. You know, so when he stayed longer, so that means India's chances have increased, right? So all the way till the target was set. So of course there's towards the end, players have get to that target, but entry point. So what you need to see is the entry point of Virat, exit point of Virat. Entry and exit, did it make a difference? From 40 for 3 to let's say 100 for 4. So that means he's created that impact. So that is there. So entry and exit. Yeah.
That's actually an interesting way of putting it, because I think that's the most safest way of also judging somebody's contribution. But so I'll play the devil's advocate. What people will say is, if India would have lost that game, because as you mentioned before that in a limited overs game like a T20 match, the pitch does not change much. That factor is kind of out of play. It is a day game, so there will be no dew factor as well. So South Africans were playing at a much faster rate, but Virat Kohli on the same pitch was kind of struggling. So how do you justify that in terms of impact? Because had India lost that game, people would have definitely, fired shots at Virat Kohli's innings that he is too slow to play the T20 format. In that circumstance, how do you stand for Virat Kohli and say that no, that innings had a much more positive contribution that you might be triggered to believe?
Yes. So I mean, the way to look at it is so imagine in the same collapse, Virat also got out in the same collapse, right? The situation could be, I mean, you are expecting him to score at a faster rate, but what he is trying to do is trying to survive, right? So trying to stay there. So that is his, I mean, you compare it again. So I would always use, are you helping the team win? Are you helping the team lose? So imagine if Virat plays with a rush and he also gets out. That will automatically reduce the team's chances because there is no other player who plays like Virat, right? So who tends to make a serve. Everyone is more like a high risk, high reward type of place, whether it's Sky or Hardik or down the order as well, right? But Virat is more like a safe player, right? So he tends to stick the probability there, right? So not too much swing in the probabilities, right? So I would love to have Virat type of player where even if I'm not winning, I don't want the percentage to go down. That would be my argument, right? So, okay, I'm not going up, that is completely fine, but I don't want to go down as well. What if Virat gets out and everyone gets packed up in 80 all out kind of a situation? I don't want to have that at all, right? But at least I will be in a safe play, have a target to defend. So that would be in a better position compared to 80 for 1, or maybe you are debating about 5-10 runs, and yes, that could make a difference as well. But I believe that for you to win a World Cup, some magical moments have to happen, right? So, yeah.
I also agree with this क्योंकि मैं भी इसी रीज़न से डिफेंड करता. He took the safe option basically. अगर वो उसी इंटेंट से चलते रहते तो परहैप्स वो भी आउट हो जाते और इंडिया और भी गंदी सिचुएशन में होती. बट देयर इज दिस वेरी फेमस स्टेटमेंट एंड सारे कॉमेंटेटर्स इस चीज़ को यूज़ करते हैं. दे से दोज बॉल्स वोंट कम बैक. जो उनने बॉल्स ली दे वोंट कम बैक. डू यू थिंक ये आर्ग्यूमेंट फेयर है?
I think, context is taken away when you just give those kind of statements, right? So those balls don't go away. I mean, in what context, right? So if a team it's not at the cost of losing wickets, right? It's not at the cost of losing wickets in a final per se, right? So I think context, these kind of statements, they don't have any sense in my opinion, because the context is lost, right? So when context is lost, there's no point in making these type of judgments at all.
एक ना हमारे पॉडकास्ट पे एक रिकरिंग थीम है जो कि इनडायरेक्टली आ ही जाता है कहीं ना कहीं. यहाँ पर ही मुझे लगता है कि वो आ चुका है, क्योंकि एक बहुत ही फेमस इनिंग्स है 2019 वर्ल्ड कप सेमीफाइनल में जब महेंद्र सिंह धोनी बैटिंग कर रहे थे, if you remember, and a lot of people were and there is the whole community is divided into he was playing fairly and the other half says that no, he was playing too slow. Do you also have any opinion on that?
You won't believe, so that date was 10th July 2019, right? So that day I received an offer letter from cricket.com. So that same day.
Damn.
That was
it's a special date for you.
It's a very special date, right? So I was working in Chennai at that time, right? So I was going in a local train back home, right? So and then I was watching the World Cup on my phone. So and then I suddenly get my offer letter, and then Dhoni gets run out. So it's like a roller coaster of emotions that day.
Okay, so that happened simultaneously.
Yes. Yeah, I still have the offer letter with the date and everything. So yeah, so that was crazy. I think I missed the question. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I want to celebrate your personal victory as well. But the question was Dhoni playing too slow? If you could have any insights from a data analytics point of view.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was not in this field at that point of time, but as a fan, I mean, definitely felt that it was little slow. Again, he was also playing on a survival mode there, but as we all know, when it comes to last overs, it is all Dhoni's territory, right? Even if the situation was 20 required of 4 balls, Dhoni could have actually done it, right? So maybe he was taking it too deep, making it tougher, but only he understands, right? So no matter what the situation is, see, actually I was watching an interview of Rahul Dravid, right? So the question was, what if you get a superpower, what do you want to know? So then Dravid's answer was, I want to know what happens in Dhoni's mind in the last overs, right? So I mean, only he understands, right? So I don't think anybody gets a chance, whether it's slow, whether he's playing for himself or he's taking it too deep. But I think that's what makes him that kind of a player, that no matter how the situation is, you could argue 100 ways that he is slow, but he will find that one way. If he survived, maybe he can win the match for us, right? So I think on this one I'm with Dhoni. No matter how end he gets to, even if it is 12 required of 2, we all saw it, right? So previously as well, right? So against Akshar Patel, he did it. Right? So 4 sixes in 4 balls, right? So I think he is capable. You have to leave it to player, right? So rather than being judgmental about it, maybe the player could have done it, right? So the situation has gone in our favor. So again, right? So this semi-finals and finals, you need that little magical touch. Otherwise, things don't happen.
I actually appreciate the honesty, because you also mentioned how perhaps from a data point of view, वो शायद थोड़ा slow चल रहा था, but then again, Dhoni is Dhoni. He knows how to finish it. So I think it's a perfect summation of this segment where we discussed how data and instinct can take over a player.
अब सोचो अगर ये क्लिप इतनी बढ़िया थी तो पूरा का पूरा पॉडकास्ट कितना बढ़िया होगा।
तो अगर आपको इसी क्लिप का पूरा पॉडकास्ट देखना है तो यहाँ पे क्लिक करिए, और अगर आपको ऐसे ही और क्लिप्स बिंज वॉच करनी है तो यहाँ पे क्लिक करिए।